my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. We are on week 3 of the Christmas in July mystery from the Fat Quarter Shop called Up on the Rooftop. So let me show you the block. I actually think these are more like sections of the piece. We have 4 sections, and then the assembly is the 5th week in July. 5 weeks in July. Oh my goodness. How's that happen? So this is what it looks like, and that is super cute. You've got a darling reindeer. Look how sweet he is. Okay, so we're going to look at my fabric and see what I have from this collection that's going to work. Oh, and at the end, don't forget to come to the end, stay to the end, because I have got a quilt parade of some of your Make-A-Wish quilts. Let's go through here and just pull the fabric for this reindeer and the star. And we got a quilt block on this part of the body. Now the pattern does say just a fat quarter for the reindeer. And so I am going to use this one. I think it'll be pretty. I could have gone much more tonal on the reindeer like that. I could do that one, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go for this one with the poinsettia. And then I'm thinking that the antlers, this will be the antlers up here. So now there has to be a pretty piece for the body. And I don't know, I'm thinking the plaid will look good on here. So this little, like, I don't know what you would call that, like the little, you know, blanket, like little blanket. And then now I've got a, you know, quilt block that'll go against here. So I could use one of the light fabrics that, you know, my background is this guy here. So if I use one of the light fabrics for that block, it will show up against this gray, right? And, you know, I could do the white. I don't want to do the white. I don't want to do the white. And I don't want to do the same fabric that it's in. So I could do this one. I know, sorry, I'm talking and filming. That's the bigger floral. So either that, or I could do the penguins. I could do the little penguins, but maybe the penguins. I'm going to go all out for the fun factor. Do the penguins for this block here. All right, so now I've got the bigger block up here. And I think I will stay with the pinks. So now I could have done the, yeah, see the pinks. It would be kind of cute to do the penguins up at the top block because that has a big center up there. See, it has a big center. So maybe I should do the penguins for the star, and then that means if I do the white, or I could just, what if I just stay pink? What if I just stay pink? Oh, I don't want to do pink. So I could do, okay, what if I switch? What if I do the block with the plaid, and then I do the floral for the blanket on this gray? And keep it all in the pink family, and, you know, I pretty much won't be using the white fabrics from the line then. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. This will be the reindeer, and then the little blanket, and then do the block on the reindeer with this, the antlers, and then do the other bigger block up there with the super darling pink penguins. And they will all go on light because I'm doing it on a light background. Okay, that's my thought. For these seams, I want to press them open, and this clapper with the felt or the wool felted cover is perfect because it's easier than trying to do it flat. So what I do is I just lay it on here like this, and then I just kind of finger press it a little bit so that it's going to do what I want. And then let me just switch hands with the camera. Then I just take the iron and you come right on here, and you can just press right on that. Look at that. Okay, let me just, I'm going to leave it cool. I think one of the important things when you do this kind of pressing is that you let it cool before you start manipulating it again. The fibers have to kind of set into this position So here we go. There, look at that. Look at that. So nice. Okay, I will do the other one, and then I will assemble the whole block. Remember, if you have images and you want them to go a certain way, you know, this star, as you see, it's not rotated. This is like a wall hanging. I mean, you could, you know, do something to make it a lap quilt, I guess. It's not that big, but anyway, where I'm going is I have the little guy in the middle that is, you know, pretty much facing up. So I want to put these facing up as well and those facing up as well, rather than just coming over here and throwing one down where, you know, you have the opportunity to make them all go the same direction. So like these guys would be like upside down. So that's no good. No good for me. I want everybody right side up. Everybody's going that way the best that they can. Okay, there you go. So that's a pretty good start. But I had a second thought, second, third, fourth, 18th thought that, you know, maybe I could do something a little different. So I went through there and I thought, well, I still want to do the antlers in the large, and I still want to use the poinsettia. But I thought, well, what if I do the little blanket? I know I don't have the picture up here anymore, but the little blanket is here. And then what if I do, no, I thought, what if I do the star in the stripe instead? Let me get closer. Do it in the stripe instead. And then I could use like the little plaid for the blanket. You know, I think this might be really cool because this is flying geese units. And so I can make them, you know, like, let me mock up the flying geese so you can see. So the flying, well, I'm going to mock it up big because the piece is big. Okay, so the fat quarter. All right, hold on. Okay, so this would be like they are. They'll be much smaller, but look, I think that would be really, really cute on here, right? And then do the little plaid versus the floral. They have a floral. I can try that when I get around to cutting it. I did not cut this yet. The directions have it from a fat quarter bundle. This definitely comes from a fat quarter bundle, from a fat quarter piece. And so but I had to be very careful. You know, I want to be very careful because I don't have any more of it. Now, if I do mess up, what I'm going to leave till last, if I can, is like the ears, you know, so like if I mess up, I could do the ears in a different fabric kind of thing. There's also a little red nose on there and a little green collar, but you know, I'll pull something when I get to that. But I'm thinking that's what I'll do, is I'll do that combo. All right, so what did I make? I made the big star. Yes, as you saw. Is it right side up? Everybody's going the right way. Everybody's going the right way. So they can all go that way. Now this is very light. It's a very pale pink. And when you get it way, way far away, it's going to not be super strong. So like, to think about that. So if on your piece you want a higher contrast, you know, be sure you use something maybe just a little darker. And there were some a little bit darker pieces in there, but I really want the next medium-sized pink. Didn't have the penguins, and because I have this center unit, I wanted the penguins on there. Okay, so that will wait till I can sew again on it. Now there is a quilt along I'm going to tell you about coming, another free one from the Fat Quarter Shop. It's sort of bing bing. You got Christmas, and then they're doing an autumn one for August. So if you're not doing the Christmas one, you might want to do the autumn one. You know, in years past, they have done a Halloween. They've done quite a few Halloween. So this year they switched up and they're doing an autumn. So I have, wait, let me get it. I have the stuff to show you about what I will be using. And I'm going to try to sew the autumn as well. I might do a little better. My schedule will be a little bit looser by that time. So I might be able to kind of keep up with that. I am going to use the this Deb Strain line called I Love Fall Most of All. So it has lights and a little orange, not a lot of orange, and aqua and navy, but it also has a panel. Look at this panel. Look! And that Fat Quarter bundle I'll just go here. The Fat Quarter bundle actually has the panel in it. I haven't showed you the panel yet, but you can see it in the bottom. There. Do you see the eyeball? That's the bundle. Then that's the panel in the bundle. So there we go. I love fall most of all. See, it's got the pumpkin and the mushrooms, and then there's a little thing on the bottom, like the, geez, come on, Pat. The 4 pumpkins down there, which you could use for something else. You don't have to, you know, leave them on the bottom of the panel. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have extra fabric from this. And so I thought I might do the panel up because I think it'd be just a super darling. I love owls. Okay. That is the fabric I'm using. Let me show you the sort of larger pieces that I got. There is hopefully there's a supply list out there. I know last time for the, you know, they have a kit for what they're using, and they don't put the supply list out right away, but probably by today, since we're a couple weeks beforehand, they should have the supply list. If not, you'll just have to wait a little bit until they put it out. They put the kits out first, and then then they have a date. If the kits all sell, they'll put the supply list out as soon as they sell. But if they don't all sell right away, you have to wait for the supply list. That's just how they operate. Okay, so here are some of the fabrics that I am adding. You know, got some extras. This has got pumpkins. Look at that. Look at that. Look how cute that is with the pumpkin. See it sitting here? There's the pumpkin. And this gorgeous navy plaid. Yeah, and mushrooms. You knew I had to get it, right? You knew. So let me open the bundle so that you can actually see all the fabrics. Here we go. You've got the aqua and then the light. There's also solid, but I love this that little print there. And then this one with the pumpkins comes in a couple of different colors. You've got fall mums, which are just spectacular. Deb Strain is a gorgeous artist. I'm going to turn them this way. This is on the aqua, those little berries. So you've got, and then another solid in there, which is so nice to sort of extend things. There's the mushrooms and the aqua, and then we get the whole thing on navy. There's a nice, gorgeous plaid. Look how pretty all this is. This is kind of like the open, like twig design, and then the more dense, and then those repeat out here around the mums. Isn't that pretty? Loving the mushrooms and the plaid and this piece. These are all my favorites. What are your favorites? Look at that plaid. That is so cool. Okay, I know sorry about that. You just deal. This is the way it is today. Okay, there we go. So that's all the fabrics that come in the Fat Quarter bundle, plus you get that panel. The panel comes on dark here, and this one's on light. So if you don't want the navy background panel, you can get the light background panel. So it comes both ways. Nice, so nice. Okay, I put together a little parade of some of the Make-A-Wish, and you of course go to Quilt Along with Pat Sloan to see a lot more. Let's go. We start out with Annette's Make-A-Wish, and she has a gorgeous floral in there. And you can see where she used it in the lower part, and then that out at the outer part, that same white-based floral with the roses on it. So if you're looking for different ways, I'm going to be pointing that out on everybody's sort of features that they did, in case you haven't started yours. Dawn went with kind of a red, white, and blue theme, and I love the light blue in there. And it looks like fireworks on the lower red. That is gorgeous. Dawn, number 2, a different Dawn, she has a large floral in there in different spots. And she'd use a more scrappy version rather than using like all the same fabrics in places. So she does a more scrappy version. Then you can see she's got an inner border and then an outer border that she's trying out. And that inner border is really effective. It holds everything together. Gorgeous. Hazel has a red, white, and blue. She has a striped fabric in some of the arrow units. That is very cool. And a gorgeous plaid or gingham. Looks like gingham in the middle. Jackie's soft and beautiful. She's got a dark green, a little print, a turquoise, and a peachy pink. So pretty. Here is Janet's, and her fabrics are like the yellow, the blue, the pink, the green. They got all based, then alternating rather, with white. So she kept everything really clean. It looks so pretty. Where are we next? This is Kathy's. Peach and brown. Oh, love that. Love that combo. It might be a little more pink. I can't tell on my monitor, but that is, so she alternated the chocolate and then the pink and then chocolate and then the pink. So pretty. My friend Kendall did this one, his Make-A-Wish. Oh, he's got some super cool fabrics for the lights, and each light is different. So, but they all have that same sort of drawing type image on it. So cool. Linda's beautiful, the black and green and red. It gives a bit of a Christmas vibe, and I think, or a winter vibe, and I believe the lower right, that print of the black print is possibly a Christmas print, and then the other black looks like it has snowflakes on it. Mary's is so darling. Now you'll see, like at first glance, I thought they were just two fabrics, but they're actually each of the light print are a different fabric. They look like they probably coordinated, but isn't that effective? That is just so, so cool. Pat's is gorgeous. She's got a dark outer and the red and the turquoise and a beautiful pink. So pretty. Patty's, another one with dark, but it's on the other end. So you can see the difference between the two. And then she's got green and a small print in the yellow. Let's see, a couple more. This is a different Patty, and I love it. That deep purpley on the bottom with the green, and then the small print. So the colors are kind of like coming out of what the print is there, and then out to yellow. And this is quilted, so she's got quilting on it already. Two more. Tammy's, the ombre. Look how effective that ombre is. That is very, very cool. Now, now I want to go buy ombre fabric. And last is mine again with my tiny secrets that has gone out to the Fat Quarter Shop to be up for raffle to support Make-A-Wish. So thank you everybody for supporting Make-A-Wish during that campaign, and I believe in August is when it's either August or September, they're going to be hosting raffles for the Make-A-Wish quilts, mine included, and there's usually 3 or 4 of them that are put up to make additional money for Make-A-Wish. So I'll let you know when I hear about that. And I hope you're sewing up on the rooftop with with the Christmas in July, and be sure that you get some autumn fabric if you love autumn and want to do that quilt along in August. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.